Hello there. I suppose you're here to see what we found. Well, I'll try to explicate the matter for you without any unnecessary circumlocution, but I have to warn you, data collection has been slow, so these are preliminary findings. Hypothesis 1 was that Republicans would report performing fewer COVID-preventing behaviors than Democrats would. An independent sample's t-test revealed a significant difference in the predicted direction. All right. Now, hypothesis 2 was that there would be an interaction between political party and trust in government, such that Republicans would show a more negative relationship between trust in government and COVID-preventing behaviors than Democrats would. A moderated regression showed no difference between Republicans and Democrats in this respect. Moving to hypothesis 3, we predicted an interaction between political party and perceived vulnerability to disease, such that Republicans would show a more positive relationship between perceived vulnerability to disease and COVID-preventing behaviors than Democrats would. Moderated regression showed there was no difference between Republicans and Democrats in this respect. Now, it is a little early to begin speculating, particularly for hypotheses 2 and 3, where a priori power analysis revealed a sample size of 77 was needed for these hypotheses. But I'll let you in on what I think. For hypothesis 3, perceived vulnerability to disease is very much a back-of-the-mind thing. It's thought of as this unconscious mechanism to help humanity avoid disease. In contrast, political affiliation is very much a front-of-the-mind concept. It is an active choice. It very well may be that because these COVID-preventing behaviors are novel for many of us, such as mask wearing, that these front-of-the-mind processes are given precedence over these back-of-the-mind processes. For hypothesis 2, trust in government is very tricky, particularly in the United States of America right now, because we have a very dichotomous government where each party is not particularly fond of the other. And it might be that because we assessed trust in the American government as a whole, we did not get to the picture that we had intended. It very well may be that these numbers are not reflective of the actual trust in government, because the American government is made up of Republicans and Democrats. And a Democrat may not trust any of the Republicans in the government, therefore lowering their overall rating of their trust in the American government. Whereas if we had examined looking at trust in the Republicans in government versus the trust in the Democrats in government, we might have found something different. For hypothesis 1, these are an interesting finding, and we were glad to find something that confirmed one of our hypotheses. But we need to note that we measured reported COVID-preventing behaviors. We did not measure behavior. And so it very well may be that there is a difference between perceived COVID-preventing behaviors and actual COVID-preventing behaviors for both Republicans and Democrats. And I think that is something worth pursuing in the future. Ultimately, only time will tell. And hopefully we get that time and we get the sample we need to bring a deeper understanding of this issue to San Antonio. So anyway, there are my 2 cents. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you'll reach out if you have any comments or questions for us. And I hope to see you in San Antonio.